Neo tilted, taking out the likes of Keemstar, Astonish in these 1v1 battles. Clearly not afraid to jump in your box. And oh man, with a loadout like this, 6 shockwaves, 3 launch pads, all the ammunition in the world, and zone favor right now. He is looking very good in game 3 right now.
Yeah, he's got a lot of builds. He's got tons of stuff to work with. No reason why Leshy can't make it to that end game. This is going to be interesting. Controller player. Let's not forget yesterday, Wolfie's controller player getting 2nd place here in the Fortnite World Cup Duos competition, along with his teammate Rojo. There's Lechi though, applying the pressure. With that shockwave nade, he gets right on top of a nice spot, nice position, kind of planning himself, understanding a player's going to be around there, but now all these players looking right at him as he just has to play defense. No choice. Gets tagged up a little bit, loses some of his shields, but he'll be okay for the time being.
The amount of players you see on the stadium side that once he's shown his self to that angle right there and everyone just collapsed on him, that is so scary. And it's still coming in, but he's fending himself off, punishing another player off to the east side right there. There's Leshy. If he can figure out that player is the same one that just tried to make a move on him, could spell disaster for Evil Mare.
Evil Mare doesn't have much to work with regarding health, right? He's sitting at just above half HP. Right above him is going to be Clash. Got Peasus as well. Down low on the flooring. There's Clash. Good loadout as far as weaponry is concerned. Also has that glider with the HP that he has currently. Ugh. Might want to take advantage of a Shadow Bomb or something like that rather than exposing yourself in the sky. But this is another play from earlier on, I believe. Or actually, no, Storm Surge active currently, and we are in live. Apologies there.
So he's sitting on 2 ballers here. You see one here. He knows his opponent's gonna have to go for one, but I guess a little bit of scouting here is gonna realize someone's waiting, baiting all of the loot as well.
Also off screen, Leshy did take out Evil Mare. You mentioned that before, Monster. Ended up happening. And then Storm now, 65 HP. Where is this player that went in for the fight?
It's Wakey. Wakey's right nearby. Storm and Wakey are sitting now in the zone here. Biding time here. Wakey, 3 eliminations, tied up for the most elims in the game so far. You have Wakey, Leshy, and Aspect, all at 3 eliminations so far.
Just under 50 players remaining in game number 3. Players have boxed up. They want to play this slow game. Wait for anyone to make a mistake. It's going to be hard, but for some players like Dubs, they're going to need it. Because thus far, it has not gone well for, I would say, one of the favorites here.
Dubs did go for the shot, unfortunately could not connect. It looks like Clarity's going to pick up Core Gaming there instead. Dubs, we saw in the previous game, do that baller all the way to the end game.
Yep.
Really playing slow and methodical here. You can't stand still. Dubs has definitely found himself a target nearby.
You see some, I think they're just looking at each other. They know exactly what's going on. Circle's going to be closing down now. We're going to find out where the next one is. And that's when players start to prioritize these rotations, the movement. Dubs does have a baller, which has been his strategy. He did it in game 2. He had the baller pretty much all the way until the end there. Got shot out of it. But it did bring him to a 2nd place finish. Another top 3 finish for him, top 5, top 3, maybe even a victory royale, right? But ideally that,
He tried to catch him right there. You saw that? He wanted to put him in the box for a second there and take it.
Trapped him right there. Player will have no idea what to do at that moment.
That's actually pretty interesting as well, because Class is desperate right now for an Elam. He has to really feed off of a Siphon. He doesn't have any other way to heal. Even taking the safety edits, making doorways so that he doesn't expose himself even for the slightest bit.
84 builds left for Class. Tons of builds here. And then the Storm. Now the Storm's starting to push. Look at Lechi still going for shots as players are moving about. I think I saw a player get right in his face. He did pop that Shadow Bomb. Now we're going to the game 1 winner, Booga. He's dealt 420 damage in this match. Hasn't taken a single shot. 1 elimination for him right now. As now the action feed begins to fall. You see so many names getting eliminated one by one. Bizzle out of this one. That was from Lecce, who's having one heck of a game, taking out some big names.
It is really going down right here. You can just kind of breathe in this overhead view right here.
Man.
Bella EU doesn't even realize he has the high ground right now. Clarity G just nearby as well. Bugga at the upper layers in this end game, just trying to avoid that lower ground congestion.
Yeah.
All these players are just slammed in the middle right here. As Andretta gets the high ground, we haven't seen much of Andretta so far. But you got to be careful. Those shockwaves will really sting and take that placement from you.
Yeah, he has been laying low so far, but does manage to maintain the high ground. Lost it for a brief moment, but wisely enough went outside of the storm to regain some of those builds. On the right side of your screen, you got Bugga and Lecce. Lecce, a great game that he's managed to put together with 5 eliminations. Bugga, your game 1 winner, maybe looking to get a second win on the board. How massive will that be for your current first place player?
Lecce just picked up his 6th elimination now. He is really popping off right here.
That was on Hoodjay too, a big player there and a big connection for him. Lots of builds to work with. Bugga does get another one. That's Kinzel.
Right through the trap he goes. Bugga, one of the superior box fighters in the Fortnite competitive scene right now.
Lecce went up for the high ground. If you see it on the left side, he went high ground. He does get possession of it, but ends up getting hit there by Andretta and finally eliminated. But what a run Lecce had in this game. Finally comes to a conclusion when he went for high ground. Now it's Bugga. Again, with 11 players remaining, we're about to get into the top 10 here, Monster.
Bugga, last we saw, he does get taken out right there. Unfortunately, it's Peter Pan who takes him out with 6 eliminations. Peter Pan, the dark horse right now. He's going to get wiped out here too, but it's still a great game. Wakey, who we saw leading in eliminations at one point, is still popping off as well.
Skype's in this one as well. Maybe he's going to get a back-to-back win. Riverson, he's got the high ground. He's got the explodes. He sees players. He has 11 builds, so he has to be very conservative with this. Does pop that player in the baller, forcing them down. Going in for the engagement now. More explodes. 5 remaining left. Player lands in front of him, and he tags him up for a lot of shields there. And Riversand has to reset. Needs to be careful not to get hit by that storm. Someone's going to be above him.
He's too good.
An elimination onto Skype. We're now sitting at a 1v1. 2 players left standing here. Who's it going to be down low? It's Dubs. It's Dubs down low. And Riversand has Dubs on his site. Who's going to get the win here? Riversand navigating, tarping. He has 7 builds remaining. Dubs trying to play defense, giving himself any kind of cover that he can possibly maintain. But Riversand, a few more explodes remaining. That could punish Dubs.
He's really trying to keep him down to the zone here, Golden Boy.
Oh man, this is it. He sends another one out, and they're just telling him, you gotta run. He goes into it. He's still holding position. Dubs has the high ground, but he lands in front of him, and Dubs gets a victory royale on the world stage.
Absolutely incredible for Dubs to connect. Finally hits all of his shots, and nearly a back-to-back performance right there. That is the kind of comeback story you want to see here on the main stage.
Prove to the world that you're the greatest to ever do it. But you got to give credit to Riversand. Second place finish for him there. Had the high ground, had the explodes, but it was Dubs who managed to get the better of Riversand. And look at this unfold right here. Riversand had the Rockets looking right at Dubs, and Dubs just needed to play defense. Riversand had no more builds to work with, and Dubs recognized he had the high ground. He just needed to go in there for the clothesline, and he nails it with that green pump.
That is the name of the game. You cannot miss your shots when you fully commit. Dubs and Mega sitting side by side. What a better player to have nearby you. Arguably probably his best friend right here in the competition.
Hey man, that was nuts. What a game from Dubs. And what a journey he's had. 4-time qualified. We know that he is a unit when it comes to solos. Finally getting that win. So second place in game 2. Game 3 gets first place. He has to be feeling very good about that.
That is the kind of performance he was looking for, and it must feel good to finally solidify a victory over the course of the weekend.
Yeah, it's like it's just a load off your shoulders, man. Honestly, because I've been talking to him quite a bit. He's like, I just want to get this win. Now with that, Dubs goes up to 3rd place. At the top, though, Skype, he managed to make it to the end game, as well as Bugga. So our 3 winners, 1, 2, and 3, in the order of which
they took their victories.
Game 1 was Booga, Game 2 was Skype, and Game 3 was Dubs. 19 points, 1 point shy of taking second, and Booga, way to hold on to that positioning at the top of the mountain.
King is still here too, as is Psalm, as is Commandment. They've all been in the running, but that was a great fight to see the West and the East clash in those final moments.
I love it, man. I love it. Another, we look here at 11th through 20th. Epic Whale, Fwexy, and Isa all managed to get up in the standings here, as well as Left Eye and Wakey. Oh, what a game that was. Game 3 did not disappoint, but I did get word that we have Dubs standing by with Jordan Fisher to get his thoughts on that win.
A massive, massive victory royale for Dubs here, a definite crowd favorite. A lot of people really excited to see you play today. 2 games in a row, 1v1 situations. Obviously, you're playing for placement here, and we're seeing this action happen in real time. Your baller maneuverability, you're staying in the baller for so long, obviously helped you win that right there at the end. Yo, the Rockets are coming down on you hard. What are you thinking in this moment? You trying to get high ground? What's going on?
Last game, I was just purely playing for placement and try to hold out in the ball, and it worked.
Obviously, we got that victory. Okay, going into these next matches, you're sitting in a pretty great position right now, if I do say so myself. What are you thinking? What strategy going into this right now?
I'm just going to keep trying to play consistent, and I should be good.
Golden Boy, Monster D-Face, it's feeling amazing down here. How's it feeling up there?
I think the feeling's mutual, my friend, because these have been excellent games. I love duos, right? You and I, we talk about all the time, right? We love casting duos. But there's just something special about when it's just you, the game, solos, competition, the way Battle Royale was meant. Dare I say, to quote Dr. Lupo, the ultimate Battle Royale experience.
There's just no room for error in solos. There's no, buddy there, no battle buddy to come pick you up when you get dropped, when you get sniped for making an error. You cannot make a mistake. And we saw this sign earlier today. The Dr. Lupo is not old.
He's not old.
Hey, dad fam out there.
He's just a little elderly. That's all it is. As am I. So, what a game that was. And I understand, though, we actually have Cam standing by with a special announcement. Sundown, what's up?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Golden Boy and Monster. And while we're here in the midst of the largest Fortnite event in history, you're probably wondering what comes next. Well, as we said before, competitive Fortnite isn't going anywhere. Once Season 9 wraps up and we move into our next season, we'll be debuting the Fortnite Championship Series. This will give players a chance to compete against the best of the best, where every single result matters, with a leaderboard to track results over the course of the season. Follow your favorite players on their quest to become the first season champions with millions of dollars at stake. Now, this is just a taste of what's to come, as we also plan on stepping up our competitive efforts across the board. So, keep your eyes peeled for more news as you root on your favorite competitors in the back half of the matches. Golden Boy, Monster, back to you, gentlemen.
Well, that's awesome. I didn't even know that was coming. Oh, look at you. That was pretty dope. Fortnite Championship Series?
Can I just say, did you hear that? Every placement matters. Wait, is this something you guys have been wanting or something like that? I don't know.
This is awesome stuff there. It's obviously not going to stop, and we're glad that that is the case. But focusing on what's at hand right now, Fortnite World Cup Finals here in New York City, and just a reset here. I'm Golden Boy along with Monster D-Face, and this has been quite the day. 3 games so far, did not disappoint. In Game 1, we ended up seeing a huge victory from Booga, who managed to pull it away in glorious fashion. And then Skype in game number 2, just outpositioning Dubs. But Dubs got his redemption and picked up a Game 3 win just now. He said with Jordan that he wanted to remain consistent. He's been playing the baller play. There's a lot of strategies that players can implement here in competitive Fortnite, Monster.
Yeah, you saw Dubs, Game 1, tried to get a little bit more aggressive, opting in to take that fight over by the Greasy Lake, and it did not pay off. So he took his lesson, took his little, spanking, I dare say, right there. He's like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to stay away from that guy. You got to respect him on that rotation. He switched it up, and now he's finding himself in endgame. And that is the kind of adaptability you have to have as a Fortnite professional.
Yeah, it's necessary. 4-time qualified solo player is Dubs. And what I mean by that, when he qualified the first time, for this event right here. He queued up again. Each week the solos competition was available.
Did again.
And did it again. And then did it again, and then did it again. That's how good he was. Everyone doubted him. No one knew who this kid was. And then he shocks the world. That, my friend, is undisputed. But the next game is going to start up. Game 4 about to begin. New York City, come on, let me hear you. It's about to start. It's about to kick off. These players need your energy. The battle bus is getting loaded. And look at everyone in the stands. What about that Marshmello concert earlier today? Incredible stuff, that live performance from him. You love to see it. But this has been a wild day thus far.
Now the question is, can Bugga, Skype, and Dubs continue to hold their lead? We saw King fall out of the running last game, and it set him back.
That's right.
4 placements.
That's right. That's right. King is going to be someone we have to keep a keen eye on. Not a king eye, a keen eye on.
Keep a king eye on him, too, because
sure, why not? You
a king out there.
He really is, man. You got, I think someone on the Fortnite competitive Reddit said, if you have that name and you take out a player like Tifu, you got to live up to it.
That's
you
right.
You got to live up to it. But there's the standings once again to get you all up to speed. Bugga still holding on to his first place position. Skype and Dubs right behind him. Dubs behind Skype by 1 point only, and this is the spread of the island thus far. Paradise Palms, some players are going to start to land over there in just a little bit.
Dude, Frosty Flights, what is going on there? I see 7 arrows or so just outside of where Dubs is currently positioned. Dubs, our last match winner, in great fashion. You can see he's playing the crack shot house here, where tons of chests spawn.
I'm also noticing over at the block, I saw another player there. I did not expect that, another body by the block, but he ended up disengaging out of there. And Clarity G off screen, Legendian as well. They're going to be some of the first to fall in game 4.
Here's a nice little fun fact. 46 of 68 points were scored in the online opens through Dubs' placement strictly. So he definitely knows how to get to endgame. We already know him as one of the most mechanically gifted players, especially with his duo partner Mega, who, by the way, they're both qualifying. One of the only teams that are full qualified.
And sitting right next to one another as well, as you saw when Dubs picked up the win. His first person to congratulate him, his teammate Mega. Now, Rux. There you go. That's what I want out of Rux. At the start, Arkram. That is a big elimination. Shaking the head, shaking the head.
Feels bad, man.
Oh, and
when friends collide. Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah, that is a rough one. Then you got Nix and Niddle. Nix, a Brazilian player. He was clinical during the qualifiers. Always seeing him in the top 10. Each and every week that he played, everyone in the region, everyone in the Brazil region knows how good Nix is. There's one player right below him, and maybe Niddle is going to experience that for himself. Nix does have that life lead here. We'll have that shield advantage. Niddle a little weak on the HP side as well.
Listen, Nix is here to show why he's the first qualified solo and duo player from the Brazilian region. There's only a few players who have the title of being fully qualified or double qualified for the competition here. Nix is one of them.
He's hearing all that movement up above him. Niddle does have the high ground for the time being. He goes in for the challenge, and that's Nix doing it for the region, doing it for Brazil. More cowbell, please.
Nix versus Niddle. Nix comes out on top. He wiggles his finger at the camera and says, no, no, not today. Snobby Shores is his home here.
And the good news is he won't get eliminated right away after he does a little motion to the camera. Yeah, I love you, buddy.
You know, no instant karma for him.
No instant karma for him.
Taking a look at Moffin. One of our few players representing the Asian region here.
Japan as well, 15 years of age. Got a lot of great players from Japan that have joined us in New York City this weekend.
Tons of young competitors. We saw a great performance from Sinnoh and O-King yesterday, but Let Wyken Twins, they've really been going at it here and in Paradise Palms.
The only players here, so the winner of this one's going to take it all. 7 builds for Letwick currently. HP, Little Dire. Twins also going to be in a rough spot too, and I won't get an opportunity to be able to pop that big potion there Unless he goes for it. Okay, he's making it happen. He's going for the big potion pop, and he does get it. That's going to give him a slight advantage in this fight.
The difference was no hesitation here as Letwike is going back in it, even with the health disadvantage here.
Oh, that shield's going to be gone out of that one, Monster. Let does go up above him, and no! Twins got caught looking, and that's Let, who will benefit with that Chug Jug.
I'll tell you this, so much confidence. Confidence is key when it comes down to these PvP battles. He just went all the way. He was committed, and he was, hell-bent on getting the win there. But Ghost Issa, we haven't seen any Shifty Shafts action all weekend long. Good to see Ghost Issa here on the main stage, as he deserves as much love as anyone else. What's he gonna do? How's he gonna represent for himself and his fans?
It's a battle, cross-regional battle here between Moffin and Issa. Moffin from Japan, putting this region on the map, perhaps. Issa, well-known player in the space. He's been at this for quite a while. Off screen, you just saw King's name in the action feed against Teak. Another shot, actually. Issa getting third-party, and sometimes when you're in these fights, you just don't expect when another player, they're gonna hear the gunfire, so they're gonna try and push the fight, maybe get an advantage out of it. And it's Mega. Mega marches on in and gets the better of Issa. Now it's gonna have to deal with Moffin. Does not have that floor quite yet. Moffin's holding it down. Does he get the hack through? Moffin goes in for the fight, but that's gonna be another one. Number 2 for the Mega Man.
We wanted some Shifty Shafts action, and we got it right there. They are just unfortunately in the warpath of Mega. He lands right outside of this area. Good on him to rotate through here and catch him off guard. Here's a nice little replay from
that was Teak. That was
King
the
taking out Teak.
Yeah, the King elimination on Teak. Huge for him.
All right, Unknown Army. We touched up on him in his past earlier today. At one point, he was actually somewhat shunned out of the competitive discords for being too aggressive. Little did he know that was the perfect way to find himself here at the World Cup stage, because it was all about pushing players and getting eliminations.
Everyone has their opinion and strong opinions on within the competitive community.
I'll tell you this, he came right back as being everyone's favorite friend all of a sudden.
That's good, that's good. Obviously, it's, this is a competitive game that is still continuing to evolve and grow. Players, trying to learn one another's personalities and stuff. I understand we do have a replay, though, from one of the other eliminations that had happened earlier on. This is Pika. Look at this, Pika jumping forward, finds one in front. That's the third party, and this player now having to look at Pika, but that was nasty. Pika made him pay.
Pika ordered a quick 2-piece chicken nugget, and Aqua was a part of it. That's so unfortunate. Aqua's really been struggling so far in the solo competition, but I'm sure it's a breeze for him now, being that he had such a huge day yesterday. But jumping in with Zayt here.
Right now, Aqua's playing with house money. That's what we like to say. Huge performance from Zayt yesterday, but unfortunately for him, not going to be the case in Game 4. Hood J, his first elimination is on to one of Fortnite's greats, Zayt. But the fight continues against Dracones.
It's an artillery strike right here, and Dracones is going to have to back up here. So Hood J is going to get a moment of peace, because he's in the lowest level. He doesn't have to worry too much. Dracone's trying to axe his way through the metal, and he's trying to loot right there. That's his loot, respectively, if he can snatch it really quickly. But no, he's more focused on this battle right now. And sets up a cone as well.
And Dracones, from the Brazilian region, so there's just aggression. That's what they do. They'll go after the fights, and they want to get in your face. They don't care. They don't care what region you're from.
Absolutely loving the rhythm right now. He's really messing with the cadence of his axes, but he's going to get punished. And now he's the one who's on the defense right here as he backs up and takes a defensive stance to go ahead and heal.
Doesn't have any shields, no minis, unlike Hood J, who has 2 more remaining. As well as some bandages.
Allow him to bounce back. He's got all the mats now, Golden Boy.
Yeah, he's got everything to work with. Sometimes you got to go and just farm up, pick up as much as you can. Or maybe even disengage from a fight. It may not be worth it. It's okay to disengage. Play the safe game. There's no reason that you got to get aggressive, get in their face. We understand that is what the region likes to do, but in this instance, hey, you're playing for the long game.
Yeah, and I talked with Macwood and Calculator in the Players Lounge for a while, and I asked him, what do you do if someone disengages? Do you respect a good disengage? And he says, depends, you know? If both of you guys are in a weird situation, they'll give it up.
There's no reason for you to go for a fight that you're just not comfortable with. Crew, though, he's looking for a fight right now. Has his player playing a little defense, but he ends up getting tagged, and now it's going to be him on the back foot. Has to take a moment. Pop a mini.
That was a best-case scenario for him because he still has a full whites here. He did not lose normal health points. It was just his shield that was ripped off there.
Two quality players right now scrambling against one another. Pika gets rid of the trees so that you can get above. You also get a little bit more resources out of this, perhaps. It's right front. Oh, man. Played around the corner there. And then Pika, he just had that brief moment to move away. Saw him move ever so slightly down low. Just saw the tip of his head.
This is an intense battle. Pika versus Crew. Crew, a double qualified competitor here. Didn't play in the duos competition yesterday. And of the two, he's the one who just goes in. He's not the IGL. Let's see how he can handle himself here when just playing solos now. And he's in the zone. He's found himself in the zone.
Yeah, they're going to get ticked for one in the zone, and they're pretty far from it.
He doesn't want to play off that camera angle, but he's going to chuck a brilliant grenade right there. It's going to open up the box.
Now you're inside of the Storm Monster. What do? You're engaging in this fight. You're losing health little by little. What's the play now? Oh no!
Got the med kit, but he couldn't connect.
The play was just to go for it. Pika gets the better, but he's going to continue to tick for health. Does have a launch pad though. Can fly back. He's really far from the safe zone.
And I just gotta say, that was Crew's game to win. He managed to turn it around and get that right camera dominant angle back, and he could have had it at that moment, but Pika's prime positioning put him over the ramp. He lost sight of him, and he let his guard down. He got punished for it.
And this is from Pika's perspective and how he got the better of Crew. With the burst SMG, the weapon that I happen to favor quite a bit. I like it, although I do like to set myself up for failure sometimes, so I'll pick up the burst SMG. It won't really end that well for me, but for these players here, they know how to take advantage of each item in Fortnite. They're so good at really working with what's in front of them. Now the format, as we mentioned before, we're pretty far from it, okay? So when you get to 25th place, that's when the placement points start to tick, but each elimination is gonna give a crucial point. These have been some low point games. If you watch the online qualifiers wondering, man, we're seeing players getting 60, 70, 80 points, even 100 in some instances. Those are the online qualifiers, a different format. These are the best players in the world going against one another. The gameplay is going to slow down just a little bit as they all fight for the positioning.
Yeah, this is definitely that time in the game when everyone kind of positions up and the heavy congestion begins, but King doesn't care about that because he's King. He's looking for a fight in arguably the worst zone to fight in, approaching zone 4 and 5 here.
He's a savage. He's a savage. He does not want anyone else to sit up upon that throne. It should only be him, but it's okay. Sometimes you don't have to be that thirsty. You can move away. That player popped that ramp in front of him. He gets out.
And look at this, look at that. That was so brilliant. He changes his angle there. He says, you know, I'm not going to use this side. I'm going to go around and start collapsing in on you, just losing or pushing that player out in uncomfortable ways.
Oh, I like this. He's going down low.
Master at finding angles here. He's just looking for the best way to break apart his opponent right now, and he's really playing mind games. Now, suddenly, this guy doesn't know what side he's safe on. He's losing all forms of real estate right here.
You know, King, he just constantly wants to be in your face. He's done it in each game that has happened, and he always seems to just know where everyone is. Like that is a trait that you know, a lot of the players that are up here, they do have it, but in this South American region like this, where there have been obviously not a lot of players coming out of this for this particular tournament, I think King has put this region on the map without a doubt.
He is truly representing here. This King is tracking is phenomenal. He's still keeping track of Tuesday here. Now deciding he's going to replenish some materials and refortify all of this area. Sanctioning to himself here. This is why he's in the running in the top 10 here. We saw him get taken out earlier before, but this is why he plays the high risk, high reward. And if I'm being honest, that's how you take first place. You put it all out there and
go big or go home.
Everything goes in your favor, honestly.
Go big or go home. King up above, fight over on the mountain there. Tuzi's next to him, as well as Keenstar. And King, he's gone. He's flying over to the next target here.
He just doesn't stop. Into another box fight he goes. And now he's going to reposition here and set up for the prime push.
This is ridiculous.
Look, he's still going.
He does not care, people. King wants to jump into your box. It's his box now! Oh, what a beast! What a beast!
He's not here to play. Laser's going to go down. King.
Bow down.
We thought Booga was one of the best box fighters. Hold up, it's time to do some reviews here because King is putting himself on the map here.
All I want, Bala, if you're listening, I just want you to do a VOD review of King, okay?
Get us a VOD review, please.
Hopefully we can just agree on that. Wild stuff, man. Gets the window, boom, right to the face. Right to the kisser.
He's already looking.
What's wild about that fight, too, is a lot of players would have just stayed stationary in that position. Storm was coming in.
They would have been content with being somewhere safe in the
He had a
next
target
zone.
and he just went right for it.
Incredible. Here we have Dubs now. Center zone. Still has a baller. Bucky still in the running here. Leshy also getting right next to Dubs. Also has a baller, so they're probably not going to get into too much of a battle, but who knows?
Maybe they'll be
Storm
baller
Surge
buddies.
is still a thing. Maybe they will be baller buddies.
Maybe. But you're right, though, about the Storm Surge. You really are, because if you're not putting in damage, 0 eliminations for Leshy right now. How many fights has he actually gotten into? Someone's going to be above. There's Dubs. Minigun. That minigun goes right through your builds. Very powerful against structures.
Dubs, only with 2 eliminations, is actually the match leader, and that's because he's just pinging other players. Yes, just damage leader. And we just talked about Storm Surge. That's why you want to be proactive. You want to shoot at anything that moves. Because realistically, you don't know when you're going to find yourself in that precarious situation where you have to push someone pretty much with, without wanting to.
And we were talking about this before we jumped on the cast. I think it was Zayt we were discussing. He's really good at not putting himself in a position, but still to get hurt, but still take shots. And Benji Fishy against Storm. First elim for him there.
Saw that. He put the trap above his head through the window edit, opens it up and hits him with the pump.
And now we're on his perspective. But as we were mentioning before, sometimes from a safe position, go for the shots. Go for the shots. Maybe you get a few ticks. Damage perhaps. And King, he's taking fights outside as well.
King is still here to play Golden.
2 eliminations. 53 builds for him. Running with that blue combat shotgun. Great range on that item. It's far away, though, from where the half-in, half-out circle is going to be. We're at Zone 5. This is when things start to get a little crazy. What does King have as an option here? Is he looking for people on the move and then punishing them? Maybe trying to get the community launch pad, perhaps, if someone throws that down. What is he looking for here?
It really wouldn't even surprise me if he's just looking for elimination to recap on materials right now, because he doesn't have enough to full tunnel across here. Knowing his playstyle, he's probably going to want to push here. And there it is. He actually found a launch pad, so his game awareness was at an all-time high here. And take a look here. Tfue, nice little replay right there. One of his first elims.
First point, as a matter of fact, against Kurtz. Tfue on the board. The King. What are the chances of that one? Yeah, the good old community launch pad right there. Great neighbors.
Paying attention to what's going on here. Can Tfue make a big comeback for himself here?
A little concerned about that player who had edited out. And Tfue did have the mark on him. That guy, though, you hate that one. when you just get focused on so much. You're out and about trying your best to stay up in this game. And then everyone looks at you, and Tifu again, he's doing damage, but he's not getting the elimination. Other people are siphoning those away from him.
Yes, Prisionero was just snatched from him. That's another point that unfortunately does not go his way here. He does have some shadow bombs though, so he will be able to make it to this next zone. He decides that he's close enough to try and tarp in, but now he becomes the target of the server because he's only building in wood here.
People can take note of the structures being used. That will give you an indication as to where they are currently. Players do build around 2-box metal perhaps. Metal, the strongest structure. In case you're wondering, maybe you're watching for the first time, wondering what's going on here. Your Game 3 winner, Dubs. 2 eliminations, still has that baller, but it is a very weak baller. I mean, look at that thing, it is cracked up.
Not only that, he doesn't have health either. He is very, very weak here. He has tons of materials though. He just has to play for placement to continue to hold this lead that he has right now on the competition. King gets taken out by Mongrel, fortunately, right there, and Bugga is still in the running here as he catches Quexy, and the kill feed is lighting up right now as players are dropping, and we're approaching placement points finally here.
We're getting very close to it, Monster. Once we hit 25th place, everyone's going to start to earn some points. Right at the side of your screen, 3 points for everyone still alive, but Dubs, and we mentioned it, that baller was in dire straits. It was not going to be able to survive another rotation, and neither was he with the HP that he had currently. Then the rotations, everyone's starting to move here. They have some shadow bombs. They're going to use those and get to the other side, get to the safe area, build around and protect themselves, and hope that they can continue to gain more placements as we take a look at the overhead.
That's right, he was holding his breath because he needed to get that top 25. He didn't break it through in time. Everyone left in the game has already gotten placement points here, but you want to play for the next threshold. You want to continue to stay in this game here, as that's exactly what Tifu's doing with the Shadow Bomb, hopping around the builds here, trying to keep a low profile. Bizzle still in the running. One of the innovators when it comes down to tarping and pushing out with effective and clean builds.
Just one of the greats of Fortnite altogether. On the side, I was looking at this fight between Ruxin and Riversand. Riversand went for high ground numerous times, and Tifu gets eliminated by Mongrel. And then Rux has high ground, as you see on your screen to the left. Then you have Bizzle, still very much in this one. Takamura with 4 eliminations and earning placement points as more players begin to fall. And we're coming down to the final moments, Monster.
That's right, we are. And we're going to jump into Takamura's POV here because he has 4 eliminations, and he doesn't plan on stopping. Neither does Mongrel, because Mongrel catches Benji Fishy as well. Taking a look here at Takamura, tarping out. He is going to fall down, and he's going to get shot a few times here. What's he going to do is he's going for the high ground. He sees an opportunity. It's his to take. Now jumping over with Mongrel, who's in the low ground. Drops another player right here. Is he going to be able to connect in full? Can he convert here? He does not.
So many players are landing in front of Mongrel here. Coming down to the wire. Top 9 remaining. 1 in front of Mongrel. Does he get the elim? He manages to just get away by the skin of his teeth. And now Mongrel gets up to the high ground. Maybe using this. If you keep jumping on the wall, you won't go out of the shadow state. He gets up top, but there's no one going to be there. There's a person all the way above him. Knocks the structure down. And the player does manage to catch himself and maintain the high ground positioning here. We have some great players still left in this game, but Mongrel with 4 eliminations is looking for number 5, and that was on Nate. We're now down to the final moments. Top 5 Monster.
He had to fully commit there. Those are the maps that he needed. He's still in the game here. He's going to go all the way for it, and that's the trade out with the 109 to the face here.
Huge elimination on Takamura. We're into a 1v1v1v1. Top 4 players now. Mongrel in the ultimate low ground, going up against a player. It's going to be Bugga. The game 1 winner will not be enough against Mongrel, who does get picked quite a bit. He loses a lot of HP. No more builds, but the victory royale goes to the veteran Som, who manages to pick up a massive win.
Using the shockwaves in the final moments to snatch the high ground, Som claims a victory, but it's Mongrel who had a ton of eliminations and really was the ruining factor for so many of our top 10 competitors in that round right there.
Mongrel was running roughshod in the ultimate low ground, but it's Sam, the vet. He has performed in so many competitions at a high level, and it's no surprise here. When Sam gets that high ground, everyone needs to look out. He's so good at that. Mongrel had no builds left. He had no HP to work with. He did the job he needed to do. Top 2, he got second place and a bunch of eliminations. And Shockwave's late game again, Monster. Such a great piece of equipment that you can use.
Love that right there. Stands up, flexes, hits us with the let's go. He's feeling good. And that's a huge accomplishment to take a victory. And just you only have so many opportunities to win a game here. Just to do that alone, it's magnificent.
Yeah, it really, magnificent is the best word that I could think of at those final moments. Games 3 and 4 certainly did not disappoint. Oh, that was a wild, wild game. Here are the standings, though. Bugha still holding on to first place. Look how far ahead he is. 8 points currently, but Sam now jumps in to second place. Nate in third. Riversand, who's managed to put together some great games, is in fourth. Rux as well. Epic Whale in sixth. Skite and Dubs get knocked down to 7th and 8th. And King, who has been very aggressive, is in 9th. And then Peter Pan from South Korea in 10th place.
Doing so good. The last player we saw in 11th place, Epic Whale, shot himself up to that front page, guys. So don't count out Andretta, Benji, Savage, or anyone else here in the top 20 because they have what it takes. Look at how close the point threshold is.
Yeah.
Everyone is in the running for top 10 right here, and that's life-changing prize on the line here. The stakes are so high.
Yeah, the gap is so small, and these players have the capability of being able to get into the top 10. 2 more games remain. I wonder who's going to take it all, but let's go down to the stage. We got Jordan standing by with our Game 4 winner song.
And a huge Game 4 win for Sam. Now sitting at second place in the standings, feeling really, really good right now. We're just talking about that high ground take. You said, I didn't think that it was going to work, but real domination right there at the end. What was your thought process going up against such a stacked final 10 people? I mean, some of the players that were there are all capable of clutching this up.
After I got the high ground, I was just focused on playing safe, make sure I don't lose the high ground, make sure no one influences up to take my high ground. And then, I let everyone on the ground do their thing, and then I clean up.
And then the cleanup was real. Back to you, Golden Boy and Monster D-Face.
Always a pleasure to hear from Sam, a veteran in competitive Fortnite and doing it once again. No shocker there. You take the risk, you make the bold play, and sometimes it pays off. And in that instance, it definitely did. He's coming out quite pretty from there. I believe, was it second place, currently in the standings. That was a nutty game, man.
He's been in top 10 this whole time. Since the competition has begun, he's been chipping away at placement. And that last one was a huge victory for him. And that is exactly what he wanted and needed here to keep him relevant.
Yeah, so many great moments in that game. And while we had the best seat in the house, there were some moments that maybe we didn't catch. And the good news is we got one of the best VOD reviewers in the game. Ball is standing by to break it all down.
Thank you so much, GB. Yes, we have 2 games remaining, and it looks like Sam and Bugha repeating that first game success early on. They're going to move forward at the top of the leaderboard, but for now, we're going to take a look at some of Rux's performances and some of his shots that pushed him up to 5th. So while we roll these clips, Rux, in the end game, first, he set himself up brilliantly in the early game against Arkham. We've talked about Arkham a number of times. This duel has been going on every single game here. Rux takes the better of Arkham and gets the loadout that he needs to push on forward here with the infantry rifle and the combat shotgun and heals to boot. Only 1 mat remaining through this entire time. Doesn't quite get those mats after finding the elimination onto Core Gaming, so he's working through old structures here, other players' structures. And that's when you start going sneaky beaky mode. He stays crouched, make sure that no sound is coming through for that elimination onto Slaya. He had high ground at this position. A nice shot there onto Light. Unbelievable flick shot with the combat shotgun. And then this is when I believe it was somebody else took high ground here. Beautiful retake. It's Stompy. Rux brings himself up into 5th place with that. We'll see if he continues to climb. But for now, we've got 2 more games to go. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thank you so much for breaking that down, Bala. Rux, who has been time and time again showing up in the top 10. We always see his name, whether it be solos or even in duos, along with his teammate Pika. They always have great events. So no shocker there. But this is, what a wild ride, right? We've been on 10 weeks up until this point. All these players from around the world. I love looking at that top 10 as well, man, because it truly is a great international game that we have here with Fortnite.
Yeah, you saw it unfold. Like, who would have thought King would be the man to show up today and be, like, honestly, the energy for the arena here, because he has had some of the wildest moments so far in his journey through this World Cup weekend.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's been a wild ride here, but that's going to do it for myself and Monster Deface the Boricua boys. There we go, brother. Always a pleasure to cast with you. Now we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, Courage and Dr. Lupo take the stage one more time, and then we crown our Fortnite World Champion. We'll see you in just a few.
Hello, Fortnite fam. I am PookieFace_. I am joined here at the front of house with David, and we're going to talk a little bit about how all of these systems work, how we are bringing the Pro-Am, Creative Cup, and the World Cup to you guys this weekend. So David, nice to meet you. Thank you for joining me here. What do all of these buttons do behind us? Tell me a little bit about what all of the technical things are here.
So basically this is controlling all of the lighting and all of the video for the entire show. We're pushing out all the videos that you see on all the screens, any camera shots that go up there. And then we're also making sure that all the lights are at the right levels for player faces and everything else.
So it's your job to just make everyone look great, is technically what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Now, I know that you have some facts about the lights, the LEDs. Give me a little bit of some factoids about how all of this production pulls power and, what goes into all of this.
Absolutely. There's about 1,200 lighting fixtures in the room currently. We have about 18 4K video outputs to go to all the big screens. We're running about 98 million pixels worth of video space, and it's taking about 2,000 amps of power, which is about enough to run about 15 homes.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today, introduce me to all of these working parts. But there are so many more things that go into all of this. So when you guys are out in the stands watching the World Cup this weekend, you have David to thank for everything.
Dub said, look, I've qualified. I'm just going to come back and just flex on literally the entire region.
It's ridiculous. I mean, the fact that you can be so consistently good in one of the major regions. The best of the best aren't concerned with just barely making it. They want to win every fight. They want every point. That's why he's in first. There's a reason he's one of the best solo players on the planet.
안녕하세요. 저는 이제 팩스폭스라고 하고요. 저는 아시아 서버에서 이제 뉴욕 진출했고요. 이제 나이는 17살입니다. 저는 이제 위크 1에서 이제 처음에 솔로 4연승을 해가지고 초반에 이 점수를 거의 다 따가지고 그냥 후반에 맘 놓고 하고.
4 victory royales and he averaged 8 elims, obviously first place. That's unbelievable.
이제 아시아는 스크림 같은 게 없기 때문에 저는 연습을 제대로 별로 못했기 때문에 아마도 일단 운에 맡겨야 될 것 같습니다.
Hi, New York City.
Oh, okay, Factlox. I'll take you out for a good pizza. I know a couple good spots.
이제 한국에는 포트나이트 유저가 별로 없는데 진짜 응원하겠습니다.
Hey Fortnite fam, BallTW here to get in the nitty-gritty of competitive Fortnite. The final circles in competitive Fortnite are packed tightly with both action and players, all fighting to get the victory royale. Let's introduce one of the most common techniques used to outlast your opponents in those congested final zones. What is tunneling? Also known as snaking or pathing, this is when you build a protected tunnel while running away from the storm and into the next safe zone. When these safe zones get so small, this becomes very, very important, as there can be opposing players on all sides of you. Here's an example of the most basic tunnel, the straight tunnel. From your base, you simply build straight towards your destination straight ahead of you, with a floor piece below your feet and above your head. This is the most basic and also dangerous version of the tunnel, since you're not covering horizontally. You're exposed from your sides. However, you save materials by doing this. The materials you spend covering your sides quickly add up. Then, if you need to go diagonally to get where you need to go, you'll often see players do the diagonal tunnel. At its most basic, it's very similar. You're just changing directions as you go, once left, once right. This is very useful since sometimes you'll encounter enemies that you want to get away from on the road to the victory royale, or the next safe zone is in a diagonal direction. So just change directions and move, but make sure to stay safe from the storm. Now we talked about how you're exposed from your sides. In both versions, you can add walls to either side, or both left and right, or even in front as well. This gets really hard really fast, and this is why it's so impressive that not only are these high-level players tunneling so fast and without error, but at the same time going for crazy plays on unsuspecting opponents to rack up elimination points as well as placement points. It's a lot to take in, and oftentimes they do things so fast that you can't even keep up. Watching players like Cease, Bizzle, Mongrel, Benji Fishy, and all the players playing in the Fortnite World Cup Online Open play from their tunnels can be jaw-dropping. So there you have it, tunneling. One of the most important skills in competitive Fortnite. It's pretty simple at its core, but at the high pace of these congested endgames, it gets complicated. That means you need to practice, and make sure to hop in creative mode and do just that. You can practice it in the open on your own island, or use one of the many amazing pre-built training courses that creators have made. This was BallTW, and we'll see you in game.
My name is Turner, aka Tifu. I qualified from the North American East region.
This is not. Wait.
Trying to snake him in. Can you get him to drop it?
Oh my! What is that angle?
He hits all of the shots.
The day I qualified, I was pretty hyped. I didn't even believe it was real at the time. I don't know. I was just kind of streaming, grinding, doing my own thing, and I tried my hardest and succeeded, I guess.
Landing all the way up top, drops him. 100. Follow through on the shot.
Literally reading my mind.
He's a special player, a generational talent. He has qualities that not a lot of young players have. So mature, so dedicated, very rare to see.
힘들어. 안녕하세요. 저의 이름은 김도환이고 플레이어 닉네임은 흐드제이입니다. 나이는 그리고 14살입니다.
He's disciplined.
Hoodjay drops down.
He's focused.
That was an ambitious play.
He wants to push it.
What a charge through the box in there.
That's what he needs to do to become the best.
여기 간 다음에 제일 중요한 거는 이걸 타고 여기부터 먹어. 여 지금 이쪽에 그 상자.
I'm Juno.
이거부터 먹고.
I'm the coach for T1's Fortnite division.
그 페이탈은 여기 안 밀어. 여기는 거의 완전.
I first met Hoodjay when he was a free agent.
제일 베스트가 아이스크림 먹고 아이스크림 안
He's
다음에.
the youngest player in our team.
저는 포트나이트 선수로서 일산에 있는 아파트에서 팀원들과 함께 구단에서 생활하고 있습니다.
야, 웃으면서 해.
먹거리가 가장 많고 저희 팀원은 가족 같고 가족보다 뭔가 좀 더 끈끈하고 좀 더 위인 그런 팀인 것 같습니다.
The team really looks at Hood-Jae as the little brother that everybody wants to take care of.
저는 일어나자마자 바로 옆방에 있는 연습실에서 포트나이트를 할 수 있다는 거에 대해서
His tempo is quite a bit faster than a lot of the other players.
Hood-Jae runs on forward.
아무래도 건설이라든지 편집이라든지 그런 부분이 좀 재미있어서이기도 하고 제 목표를 달성할 수 있기 때문입니다. 저는 포트나이트 게임을 시작할 때 이기자라는 목적으로 많이 시작합니다.
Tags him and brings him down to the victory royale.
He wants to always be creative, always change up his playstyle and steal the tempo from his opponents.
여보세요, 엄마. 잘 지내시죠? 요즘 어떻게 지내세요? 네, 걱정 안 하셔도 돼요. 제가 끝나면은 진짜 자랑스럽게 해드릴게요. 꼭 몸 관리 잘하시고 어디가 끝나면 바로 갈게요, 집으로. 네. 세계 최고 플레이어가 되고 싶은 이유는 아무래도 부모님인 것 같습니다. 가끔씩 부모님이라는 생각이 가끔씩 들어서 그게 동기부여가 되지 않나 싶습니다.
Hood-Jae hasn't realized how talented he is just yet.
I am just so impressed with what I'm seeing here from Hood-Jae.
He has that potential to become the greatest of all time.
Ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this. Millions watching across the world. On the biggest stage. Every single player out here, an absolute gamer, Jack. We've never seen anything like this. Best shadow bomb use I've ever seen, Mr. Savage M.
I don't miss my shots. I don't miss my shots.
He's the player there. Runs out into the storm. Jump. Finds him. Yeah!
Qualifying for the World Cup was a major step for me to actually help out my family.
I'm so happy we made it. This is literally like a dream.
I was freaking out. It was awesome.
Ooh, someone messaged me. He said, hey, congrats on qualifying.
Pressure's on here. He's got to get on that point move phone. Here it is. He's going to the PX. Guess what? He's a World Cup qualifier. This is it right here. The 1v1. Who is the other player? He hit it. Oh my God. He hits it. Freaking legend. Are you kidding me? What a win. Victory Royale. GG.
Ladies and gentlemen, huge shout out to Mike Realm spinning over there, guys. Give it up for him. And now we are one step closer to crowning our first Fortnite World Champions in solos. History is about to be made here, folks. And now I want to ask everyone here in the arena, are you ready? Let's do it one more time. I'm going to ask you again. Are you last two games, Courage and Dr. Lupo.
Over a year ago, the Fortnite World Cup was announced, and here today it culminates in the final two games of the solos competition. $30 million in prize money this weekend, and in two games, Dr. Lupo, we will crown another Fortnite World Champion.
We've seen a ridiculous number of plays from everybody on the field.
Yep.
Even moments like King going out, literally the first eliminated one game immediately after, just slaying out in the lobby. We love to see gameplay like that. Very aggressive from a number of players that honestly a lot of us didn't even expect to show up on the board. You have to remember though, every single player that has qualified for the solo finals here at the Fortnite World Cup in New York City is at the top of their game. 40 million people played through. This is what's left, the best of the best of the best.
We know the storylines continue throughout this lobby of the 100 best players in the world. We have two games left. Our standings, well, they're very close, and Sundown's going to update us on where they lock up.
Thank you so much, Lupo and Courage, with only 2 matches left to decide who is the world champion solo player, who is the best of the best of the best. We're gonna take a look at what the standings currently look like and what needs to happen. So the first thing you're gonna see right away is the runaway train Booga up top. 1 victory royale, leading the pack with 15 eliminations at 37 points, 8 points clear. But we talked about it a little bit yesterday and a lot during the qualifiers. What is a reasonable game to expect? We've seen a lot of the victory royales today actually coming from more passive players. They've been getting around 11 to 12 points apiece. We've been seeing high volume eliminations happening in the early and the mid game. But right now, looking at this board, Peter Pan sitting in 10th place right now is just off of the mark. He's 16 or 18 points off. With a reasonable game, he could challenge towards that. Let's take a look at the second page, because then from 10th to 20th, it is a 4-point difference. Mongrel, with a fantastic performance in the last game, pushes himself into contention, and this top 20 is the line where you will see an increase in that prize bonus. You want to be at minimum on this page when all is said and done. 2 matches are left. We have already seen world champions crowned in creative and duo. Who will be the ultimate victory royale and who will take home the title? We're gonna throw it back inside and see the final 2 matches. Lupo, Courage, let's take it home.
Thank you, Sundown. The standings so close, all for the coveted trophy that you see on your screen, the title of Fortnite World Champion. 15 million just for this solos competition, 3 million for first. With 2 more games left, who do you think comes out on top?
I would love to see the 13-year-old from the South America, King, show up big. I mean, he's put on a fantastic show thus far. You have to remember, just 1 slip up, 1 bad game, that's not enough to take you out of the lead. He very easily, a solid high elim game, a top placement, doesn't even have to be a victory royale at this point. With how well he's played. He could make his way to the top with ease.
Can anyone catch Booga at the top of our leaderboards? The lobby is ready. Ladies and gentlemen, the battle bus launches in 2, 1. Game 5 underway of the Fortnite World Cup Finals Solos competition. Can they catch Booga? His lead remains from the incredible shockwave plays earlier. All 100 players in the biggest day of their entire lives fighting for their big share of the, well, $3 million first place spot, 15 million in total.
Our winner from last game, Psalm, a last-minute clutch there. Took home a victory royale. We're going to watch his drop in here as well as everybody else near the top of this board. As we go into these later matches, folks, keep in mind we're going to try and keep an eye on those that are closest to contention for that world champion position. Very, very important to know that. Go to the board there. You see 4 of the 5 llamas in the very south edge of the map, starting at Salty all the way down to the east of Happy Hamlet. 1 more all the way to the top middle. Those getting picked up early are very, very important. A baller for Psalm already at the beginning of the game. It's like he may have been the only one to drop up here. And are you kidding me? A jug, a proxy grenade launcher.
I was like, sure. He's only averaging 1 limb per match, you see, but he's in second place. So the value's so key for placement. Has placed in the top 18 of every match. So we played 4 games. That means he's gotten placement points in every single match so far, Dr. Lupo. It's a big reason why he finds himself in second place. To be that consistent in this lobby, absolutely insane.
Gotta break 25 to get those points.
Arkram, Rux, fighting out in Westworld, as people do call it, this desert town. Arkram has had a couple games where he's just basically got fried right off the start. Can he turn it around right now? He was top 15 earlier. Doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Rux, who's gotten the better of him a few of these previous games, having it back on him for a moment as that airstrike did come down.
Don't count him out just yet, though. This drop, honestly, one of the loot heaviest in the game. You have a lot of materials as well. A player like this, he gets in a good position, maybe even takes out Rux, doesn't have to fight anybody else down here. He can climb his way out of here with ease.
9 grenades in Rux's inventory. If he could somehow bait Arkram into a bad spot and use those to his advantage, it could be the thing that swings the tide in this battle. Hasn't thrown the Chug Splashes. I was going to say, wondering when he was going to begin to throw them, but there they are. Chug Splash is down. 0 limbs still, as you'd expect, as he's still looking around for where Arkram could be.
Maybe the hope to save those. We didn't have to necessarily use them just yet. Big anticipation of combat before you know it, or at least the chance of it. I'm going to throw those down real quick. 40 HP shield. These two just kind of in a stalemate at the edge of the map, waiting to see if there's an opportunity to make a play. They are outside of the safe zone quite a bit. At some point, the zip lines or even the quad that spawns here might be the key to getting all the way into the safe zone soon. Grenades going out, but beamed. Rux takes quite a bit of damage from Arkram, and aggression begins. The build up, and he's going to try and take the high ground. Shots from Rux, no contact just yet. He's going to have to do some damage before you know it. Only 96 HP is not going to necessarily be enough against a player with accuracy like Arkram.
But he does have the combat shotgun, which is the ultimate tool this early in the game. Rux still at 96 health, has those grenades in his back pocket. Hasn't thrown any more yet. 15 builds still remaining. A very intense fight for these two. The shot comes through. Down to just 41 HP. Rux versus Arkram. Who can come out on top? Rux still with high ground. Arkram down below. Will he begin to throw these grenades? It doesn't appear so. Only 6 builds left. And remember, with only 2 games remaining in the competition today, this could spell disaster for their final performance. Arkram popping 1 shield. Definitely has a major health advantage, but still, height can make all the difference as he has the combat shotgun, but looks like for now he'll just back on.
I was anticipating if Rux had made a tag, if he'd gotten damage on Arkram down at the bottom of that building, I would have expected a push, 100%. A chance to pick up that the 50 HP or shield because of Siphon. No damage dealt there, so Rux decides to opt his way out. King, one of our high elim players, 35 HP, gonna try and get that med kit off, but he can't quite. Time to fight it out. A little bit of a build battle and see who can take ownership of the walls. King building up and layering yet again.
Oh my goodness.
The shockwave. He's actually going for it. Are you kidding me? Lutinezi goes down, and King back up to 85 HP. What a play.
On the World Cup stage.
Yeah, the kid.
He just shockwaved to the sky and tried to hip-fire hand cannon his opponent.
With 35 HP.
Are you kidding me? With 35 health? Talk about confidence. It's such an insane play that it catches the opponent off guard. Stompy trying to push on in. I believe this is Dubs on the other side of the wall. Stompy gets the wall, gets the elim. Down goes Dubs. And also in the elimination feed, Aqua, our Fortnite world champion from yesterday, has eliminated Tfue.
Match 5 out of 6, 1 left. Those players, the 16 that have already been eliminated, they still have 1 game remaining. But our current leader on the standings, Booga, down in Lucky Landing, going to make a rotation away. Avoid any damage. At this point, going to be the most important thing is getting ahead of the game here. As the storm is pressing on in, he's only against 1 other player down here at Lucky. So the opt to rotate out to the west towards the river, probably the best one in this situation. Doesn't want to get challenged. He's got a free rotation up now. Slip is right there. Without realizing it, too, he is relatively close to 2 llamas in the south edge of the map.
I wonder if he'll spot either of them, one on his left, one on his right. I doubt he will since he's going through the low ground, but Bugha, so far, man, 3 out of the 4 games has been fantastic performances. He had one where he dropped off early. Remember, he, was eliminated within the first 10 players in the game, but still keeping his lead because of how well he's performed in the other 3 games up to this point. Teak did show some aggression there for a moment, but decides, nope, I'm going to fall on back. Don't want to take this 1v1 out in the open. Would rather go continue to loot on up, earn more materials because, hey, 45 builds, you think, that's a lot, but not in any case in a competitive lobby like this. And, well, since he fell back, he's able to get himself a combat shotgun.
Feel good about that. Clicks in the feed, picking up an elimination on Nate. Down to 81 players remaining as this first circle starts to close. 52 seconds left before that happens.
And this first zone, very central on the map. No super drastic rotations need to come on through. Here's a replay from earlier on of how Aqua challenged and eliminated Tfue. Tfue goes for the slurp, Aqua gets the floor, and Tfue stands no chance, can't even fire a shot. And there's the frustration from Tfue, as he knows he has not had the day he's wanted. One of the biggest names in competitive Fortnite, one of the winningest players of all time, getting shut down here at the Fortnite World Cup Solo Final.
I would say it's definitely a different playing field than a lot of these players are used to, no matter where they hail from. Because it's the first time that we've had multiple regions from the entire world all play within the same lobby, the same setups. It's all on land here, so it's just a different scenario for everybody. Especially on top of that, if you have younger players that have never had LAN experience, nerves could potentially play into it. But she pushes into the box, gets inside, and the elimination. Robams goes down here in Neo Tilted.
And I like that a lot from Lechi, right? Because he's got 200 HP. He's already done a lot of damage to his opponent. He also does 23 more white damage, HP damage to realize, wait, I have a major health advantage as Bugha begins to dance on the main stage. But he pushes on in, forces the play, and says, you know what, if you have a trap, I'm still going to survive through it. You're so little HP that I know I'll eliminate you, even if I take 150 damage to the trap. Bugha, I mean, I guess this is kind of the mindset he has right now. I'm in first. I've got shadow bombs, I've got a launch pad, I've got everything I need. Banny, if you want to play this game, bro, you can play this game. But Bugha dances, and his opponent says, no thank you. No dance battle for me today, I'll back on up.
It's enough to pressure him to rotate
Imagine
away.
dancing and scaring away your opponent. That's when you know you're good at the game.
Whenever you dance, you scare me away too, Jack. Don't worry. 73 players remaining as Cease picks up an elimination. A reminder on the right side of your screen, the format for the day. Match 5 of 6. We have 10 points for a victory royale. You make it to top 5, it's only 7. You make it to top 15, that's 5. Top 25 is 3, and every elimination on the board is an additional point.
And also keep in mind,
ooh, a big 46. The white damage, a good signal for Bugha that player most likely won't challenge unless that's the only thing they have left. No pressure there. He's an opportunity to just rotate away cleanly.
Another thing to keep in mind, you see right there, 40% extra materials when farming. You also have a max count of 500 of each material type. So you cannot carry 1,000 wood or 999 wood, 999 brick, 999 metal. No, it's 500 of each material type. Players building inside this new structure, the corpse of the monster that our glorious mech defeated to save the Fortnite Island.
Hashtag team mech. Ooh, a solid hit there. Scalar going to pressure from above, knowing that ramp was closing it off for just a second. Going to try and take the wall to edit from above.
Surprised he's not throwing a stink.
Doesn't own it just yet. Very good question. At some point, that's going to have to come out. Maybe pressure the player off of that campfire. Still can't get it. There it is. Still can't get it. These stalemates for taking walls, one of the highest pressure situations, because you're on the verge of a box fight in which your opponent, you know they're going to push in. They have a trap that might take a wall.